Hi everyone, in this video we're going to talk about the addition rule for probability, which allows us to compute the probability of one event occurring or another event occurring. So it allows us to deal with the or situation. So let's take a look. The addition rule tells us if we have two events, the probability of at least one of them occurring. All right, so in other words, it's the probability if A and B are the events, it's the probability that A or B occurs. So it deals with the situation where we have an or. All right, and it says that the probability of A or B is the probability of A plus the probability of B minus the probability of A and B. And this part is the part that a lot of people don't see coming. A lot of people will naively just add these and expect that to be the answer. Well, if the probability of A and B is a possibility, you've got to take this into consideration. So do be careful about that. Okay, so let's look at this example. We roll a fair six-sided die, and we want to know the probability of getting a 5 or a 6. Well, according to this rule, we will look at the probability of getting a 5, the probability of getting a 6, and the probability of getting a 5 and a 6. So probability of 5 plus the probability of 6 minus the probability of 5 and 6. Well, what's the probability of getting a 5? It's 1 out of 6. It's one possibility out of 6 possible, equally likely outcomes. What's the probability of rolling a 6? Also 1 out of 6. What's the probability of getting a 5 and a 6? Well, if you roll a die, you can't get two numbers. You can only get one, so this is impossible. So actually that is 0. 1/6 plus 1/6, that is 2/6, or you could simplify that to 1/3. So that is the probability using the addition rule. Let's look at B, probability of getting even or odd. Well, that's the probability of even plus the probability of odd minus the probability of even and odd. Right? Well, the probability of getting even number on a die is 2, 4, or 6. There's 3 possibilities, so it's 3 out of 6. Probability of rolling an odd number, that means you rolled a 1, 3, or 5. That's 3 possibilities out of 6. And getting an even and an odd, well, that's impossible. There are no numbers that are even and odd. So again, that's 0. So 3/6 plus 3/6 is exactly 1. In fact, it's guaranteed that when you roll a die, you will get an even or an odd number. So maybe that was obvious to you from the beginning. All right, so part C, probability of getting an even number or a 3. Well, it's going to be the probability of even plus the probability of 3 minus the probability of even and 3. Well, the probability of getting an even number, like we said before, was 3/6. The probability of rolling a 3 is 1/6. The probability of getting an even number and a 3, well, that's 0. You can't get an even number and 3 because 3 is not even. And when we combine these, we get 4/6. And I don't have room to simplify it over here, but I would write 2/3 if I wanted to simplify it. And finally, D, probability of getting an even number or 4. That's the probability of getting even plus the probability of 4 minus the probability of even and 4. Well, the probability of even, there's 3/6 like we did before. The probability of rolling a 4 is 1/6. Now the probability of getting an even and a 4, well, that is possible, right? 4 is even. So that's the same as the probability of rolling a 4. So that is 1/6. And see, we see that this one, the answer is 3/6. So that is the addition rule. Okay, so in this example, we have a poker deck, and we're going to draw a card from that well-shuffled deck. The contents of the deck are as follows. There are 4 suits, clubs, diamonds, hearts, and spades. There are 13 cards in each suit. Some of the cards have numerical values. Some of them have letter values. And moreover, there are 2 different colors. Some cards are red, some cards are black. Okay, so we're going to look at these probabilities. The probability of getting spades or diamonds. Okay, so the probability of, I'm going to use S for spades. Spades or diamonds is going to be spades plus diamonds minus spades and diamonds. So probability of spades plus the probability of diamonds, D for diamonds, minus the probability of spades and diamonds. Okay, well, probability of getting spades. Well, there are 13 cards that are spades out of 52 total cards. So 13 out of 52. What about the probability of getting diamonds? Well, that's the same. There are 13 diamonds out of 52 cards. And what about getting a spade and a diamond? Well, there are no cards that are both spades and diamonds, so that's impossible. And so we see the probability is 26 out of 52, or in other words, 1/2. Okay, what about part B here? The probability of getting a 2 or a 3. So what we would do is we would look at the probability of 2 plus the probability of 3 minus the probability of 2 and 3. Okay, well, what's the probability of getting a 2? Well, there are 4 cards that are 2s, so that is 4 out of 52. There are 4 cards that are 3s, so that's also 4 out of 52. And it's impossible to get a card that's a 2 and a 3, so that is 0. And so we have 8 out of 52, which simplifies to, what does that simplify to? 2 out of 13. Okay. Okay, let's look at the next one. 6 or a club. Probability of getting 6 or clubs. Well, this is going to be the probability of 6 plus the probability of C for clubs minus the probability of 6 and clubs. Okay? I don't know why I keep arcing upwards. It's a natural, annoying little thing that I'm doing. Okay, so probability of getting a 6. Well, there's 4 ways to get a 6 out of the 52 cards. So that is 4 out of 52. The probability of getting clubs, well, that is, there's 13 clubs out of 52. Right? So that is 13 out of 52. And what's the probability of getting 6 and clubs? Well, there's one way that can happen. You can get the 6 of clubs. So that's 1 out of 52. So minus 1 out of 52. And so we have 4 plus 13 is 17, minus 1 is 16 out of 52, which simplifies to 4 out of 13. Okay, and the last one, the probability of getting a number card or a heart. Okay, so that's going to be the probability of getting a number plus the probability of getting a heart, I'll use H, minus the probability of getting a number and a heart. So what is that? Well, let's see. What's the probability of getting a number? Well, how many of these cards are numbers? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 times 1, 2, 3, 4. There's 36 numbers out of 52 cards. 36 out of 52. How many cards are hearts? There are 13 hearts, 13 cards of each suit. So plus 13 out of 52. And how many cards are numbers and hearts? Well, there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 cards are numbers and hearts, so we will subtract 9 out of 52. So what do we get here? We get 36 plus 13, that's 49. Minus 9 is 40 out of 52, which simplifies to 10 out of 13. So there we go, applications of the addition rule.